Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. First off, I want to apologize for the audio sounding off in the last episode. I didn't even notice, and it's not something I could really go back and check until after I'd already uploaded through YouTube and stuff. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I don't know. Sometimes the chords just aren't always connected. I guess, even though even when it looks like everything should be, right? But I tested my audio before I started, this recording, and everything sounds, okay. So hopefully that won't be an issue. And also, sorry for the fucking game cutting off in the middle of a cutscene. I didn't expect the cutscene to play when it did, and I probably should be more mindful of my time in terms of where I was at in the length of my recording. So that's unfortunate. And I don't know. I tried looking, to see if there was like a way to watch cutscenes, separately. So I don't know, just to be thorough. And, but I didn't see any in the menu, so that's kind of lame. But I mean, you saw the gist of it. Suzato was leaving. We bid farewell. It was all very nice and heartwarming and such. And Ryunosuke was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a lawyer. There's gonna be trials and tribulations," which is funny because that's what the Phoenix Wright games, the third game, is called. It's trials and tribulations, right? And then it immediately transitioned into this scene starting here. I'm glad I didn't go right into the ending credits, because normally you can't pause those, and with the recording already cut off, that would have been a real. I don't know. It would have not been a great situation. But anyway, here we are. I assume this episode is going to be shorter compared to the last two, which I, ended up being really long for, again, you don't want to cut off things, cut off important plot details, right in the middle, right? So yeah, hopefully this one will be shorter, and then we will discuss. Well, I don't know. I will share my own thoughts on the game and how I felt about it, and where to go from here. Now then. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have some rather awkward news. Oh, what's wrong? Oh. The railway company has decided to sue over the Special Express train, apparently. Huh? It caused such a commotion on the line. All the other trains had to wait at stations. Oh. That's not good. I thought your expert manipulations would prevent such things from happening, Herlock. What the fuck? But really, we would never have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault. Bro, what the fuck, Sholmes? What the fuck, man? I spent the last episode gassing you up and shit. And you're gonna fucking say it's all my fault? I mean, that is very like you, Herlock, so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised, but... Oh, you irascible bastard. I can't say mad at you. Huh? I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Mr. Zato, you love defending yourself in court. Oh. Huh? Huh? Oh, hey, this is like a... Phoenix had a similar reaction at the end of his first game, when everyone was like, "Oh, by the way, Phoenix, fuck you, here's some bullshit." But hey, that's fair. It's alright! I'm perfectly happy to testify! You really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. Goddamn it, Iris. You don't get the same leeway that Herlock does. You're cute, but you're not Herlock cute, goddammit. I don't know how to take that shit. And he's gonna say the thing. He's gonna say the line. Mr. Sholmes? Yes. A word, if you don't mind. Why, certainly. Any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. I love Runo's words. And I know just the one he'll use here. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna fucking whip it out. Then, I really must say...
Objection!
Objection, yeah. You tell him, Ryunosuke, you motherfucker. Yep, that's the boy, Ryunosuke. Naruhodo. And that's Shutakumi, the other guy. The other boy, if you will. So yeah, this episode is going to be on the shorter side. In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot. Though it transpired I had ordered them all myself. That you did. So I advertised them for sale, used by Mr. Sholmes to solve an important case. And the money I've earned! Consulting detective work pays a pittance by comparison. Oh hey, you got your spectrogram analyzer thing back from the pawn. I forget, the analysistron, or whatever. I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Ellie usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement. For some dry toast and insipid coffee. I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfast. Yasumusa Kitagawa. The music was pretty good. Though obviously it's subjective if you've heard this style as opposed to other styles. Witness! Your testimony is riddled with contradictions! God, I forgot to know what the voice I did with him. Exactly. Oh fuck. Rarely do rare cobalt coins hide in the rare stakes themselves. Well, I didn't know his father is an innocent man. Or are you calling my son a liar? Witnesses. My courtroom has no place for your petty arguments. Oh, is that them like settling like the civil trial over the stolen fucking Edo era coin? Hey, Antonio Sinaga. How's it going? Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I'd laid low on the steamship for a while. But last night I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board. Oh god, Soseki, you poor guy. I've done nothing wrong! All I did was give Wakahai's offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kittens on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal! It's not fair! Oh, Soseki, poor guy. You can't catch a break, can you, my dude? Also, hey, so he did take he took Wakahai's offspring on board. Oh, hello, guy. Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for policing in the new age. I dream of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline. Like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts mesh together in perfect unison. Yeah, you like time, I get that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment. Jeez, these fucking lines are going by kind of fast. By the way, yeah, I'm curious. I want to learn more about this guy, because he's the one who put me in the charge of the McGilded case, you know. A lot of this shit ties back to... Fuck you, Gregson. Greg sus, you suck. Alright, Reds Magazine is out, and I'm at it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I get a standing ovation. Want to hear it? Not bad, I suppose. For an amateur. Glug, glug, glug. Yeah, how much fucking cyanide poisoning you're drinking, my dude? Huh. Her ladyship puts me to shame. Again, I thought you didn't like being in the fucking Sherlock Holmes stories. In the fourth case, I feel like you said something to that effect. But here you are, simping for fucking Iris. Alright. Been visiting the old girl and had a basis, of course. Johnny, my old jailbird. Yeah. I must say, battling with those stairs, Dicky Peg, what the fuck? Managed rather well with the housework, too. Got this maid business tapered up, I'd say. I hope the gossip neighbours don't realise the man of the house. The man of the house is his own maid. Well, hey, that's nice. At least you still visit your wife in prison, even though she, you know, abuses you. Oh, hello. Oh, my Broly's back on the beat again. All thanks to the Reaper. There's nothing I enjoy more these days than hunting out small change in the gutter. I'm a better Bobby now. Looking out for Londoners, their dropped Japanese, and my lovely wife. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, you're just yeah, you're sweet as you're sweet as the Dickens. Hey, William Robbins. Oh, he's not robbing the banks. Hey, Gina. Looks like I'm going to be doing time for a bit now. But Iris comes every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases what Cholmes is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them. Well, as long as you're keeping in good spirits, you know, that's the important thing. Try not to, like, I hope they don't, like, beat you in prison or... Hey, another guy, another prisoner guy. Yes, I renounced my upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets? Please. Give over, bruv. That ain't the ass we used to know. We got time in here to plan a comeback of Milverton and Scorkin's milk run, right? The Three Muskewatsits. Milking the neighborhood for all it's worth. Oh, look at that, they're posing in synchronicity. Isn't that nice? Also, it's weird they all share the same cell. This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. I've come to realize that that's what life is all about. Naruhodo-san, I promise, your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I'll leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well. That's pretty dope, my dude. I appreciate that. Ugh, my feelings. Hey, look at it. It's still my office. Despite everything, it's still me. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. It's charming. Look at it. Look at Walker High. Look at Erlock. Look at Susato and Ryunosuke. Ah, the gang's all here, as they say. What, mate, and all that. Well, wasn't that something? Oh, look at that! They're walking down the path together. Because I guess there's more the there's no dialogue left, so I can talk a little bit more freely. But oh, look at that! Okay, that's cool. I mean, wait, Brockman's Ikes, Robert Vernon. That dude does have a pretty scary voice. Let's see, do I recognize any of those people? Not especially, but... Huh. I mean, the voice acting, though it was minimal, except for the cutscenes, was pretty good. Like, compared to the fucking Dual Destinies dub, if you recall that, I feel like this was a step above. Even though it wasn't, like, the full voice acting experience that, people might have hoped from an Ace Attorney game. But it's definitely a step in the right direction in that regard. Anyway, I will say that having properly beat the game, you know, seeing the credits, I enjoyed it. It was definitely worth. I mean, there's been a lot of positive buzz around the games for a while, and I think it definitely earned it. You know, like this whole time I've been I've been enjoying myself. That's sad. Kazuma had to leave at that point. As he walks the path alone now. Anyway, very good game. It's not, well, you know, thoughts are still, you know, percolating in my head. I honestly have my, like, fully solidified feelings on the game as a whole. But look, see, now Susato's gonna be by our side. Yeah, she's gonna walk with us, right? Oh, wait, is that it? Oh. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're walking. Are we walking side by side? Oh no, I just have Kazuma's sword, I guess. Oh no, there she is. Okay, good. The boys, the squad is all here. Sorry, I keep getting off track because this credit sequence is rather charming. Anyway, game good is the main thing. Not my all-time favorite Ace-Attorney game, I don't think. Look, it's the boy. It's Magnus McGilded. I gotta say, I did still like him. Oh yeah, he threw me a coin. He paid me. He's not a good guy, but he's a guy for sure. You gotta admit. Okay, well, come on, let's focus me. Like I said, I thought the game was good. I thought the new gameplay additions with investigations and now Sherlock is on our side. We're walking with Sherlock. Oh, it's adorable. Fuck you, Gregson. I hope you fucking like die in a hole. You got the Beats, you got the Garadebs, and thankfully she's not gonna hopefully beat up her husband. And then of course Sazeki, who's a real boy. The courtroom segments I think are usually quite good. I would say the observation, I guess, is like the pacing is sometimes a little bit iffy. Like I've heard people say, okay, now we got the squad goals. Fucking we them boys. You know what I mean? No, Van Zykes. Also, wow, you're fucking tall, Van Zykes. You're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't punch you because you might beat me to death. But also, regardless, fuck off, Van Zykes. And then of course you got those three. What a charming group of lads, I'd say. And then of course you got Gina with her gun. But yeah, pace. Okay, again, look at me. Now I'm complaining. What? I can't even pace my thoughts correctly. I keep being interrupted. But yeah, I can understand why. Well, I've read other people's impressions of the games. You know, and like, what's, and for them, you know, they thought the games were a little slowly paced compared to the two other games in the series, and I think that's fair. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's squad goals. Squad. We're the Baker Street homies. The Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Finn. That's my favorite Adventure Time character. Oh, look at that. That's a nice image to leave off on. Kazumon, Ryunosuke, friends to the end. Is there gonna be a post-credit scene? Oh, okay, no, that's it. Okay, good, cool, awesome. Now, to try and collect my thoughts again, because I don't know, I can be pretty rambly. The complaints I heard from some people is that the games are very talky, even for like Ace Attorney games. And I do think, yeah, there is a different style here. It's weird, like the game this game and the second game, you know, they're not exactly new, but you know, they've been released in Japan for a while now. But I just feel like they definitely took a diversion from the main series. You know, like the games have always been visual novels, right? Primarily, what you do is you read and you press A lot. But this game, it seems, sort of leaned more into the visual novel aspect, like in terms of there being a lot of character interactions and you know, stuff that might be seen as like filler to some people. And if you're not necessarily used to that style, I can understand why it might not immediately click with you. But I thought it was mostly pretty good. The first case, we can go over it now that we have the freedom of movement. Like this first case, Great Departure. For a tutorial case, I thought it was pretty good. It was a little long, I think, for how simple it was at the end of the day. But I think it was a great introduction to Ryunosuke, his bond, his friendship with Kazuma, the world of Japan and its relation to London and stuff. Like, it was good, and Giselle Brett was a good, easily hateable first case culprit lady. you know. But yeah, it did maybe go a little long. And that's one thing. Also, an observation I might have made mention of it before at some point earlier in the series. But like the fact that the setting being late 1800s approximately, England and Japan, the forensic techniques aren't really fully developed. And they do make mention of how science is going to be like a big thing. So it's it's in the works, but this technology isn't quite there yet. So I wonder how it affected the writing in terms of how they construct the mystery aspect of things. Because like again, this episode, The Adventure of Great Departure, if it was set in a modern setting, we could have just as easily done ballistic markings on the guns and saw that Ryunosuke, the two guns weren't the same, and that would basically exonerate Ryunosuke within like 5 minutes. So there's a lot of debate over stuff that would have been relatively simple in modern times, and again, I'm not sure they felt compelled to do simple mysteries or to focus the mysteries on other aspects as a result. But yeah, and one thing also, I in terms of this is talking about in terms of the mystery writing, not the character writing and stuff as a whole. They did kind of rely on like locked room mysteries that ended up not being locked room mysteries, like quite a bit throughout this game. Like this episode starts off with a locked room mystery. This one is like what happened inside the omnibus that no one else could have seen, and then this case starts as being understood as a locked room mystery. So that's one trope I feel like they maybe overused a bit, but again, it's not a deal breaker. Like as long as the case is still compelling to go to visit, the mystery doesn't have to be super in depth and stuff. And they kind of compensated for it in other ways because, like in this last case, there's all that mystery over the fucking telegrams and the music boxes and such. Like that's stuff that works, I think. And of course, there's still even plot threads that haven't been answered in this game that I presume will be answered in the second game. Like, what was Kazuma's other reason for coming to England? Because if you watched these like first two episodes, Kazuma wanted to reform the legal system, but there's some other like hidden purpose that he had that he never told Ryunosuke about. So I'm curious about that. And there's specifically the mystery of like why those names were in the in the leaked government secrets and such. Motherfucking Greg Sus and such. So yeah, the mysteries, I guess they compensated in other ways by adding compelling character stuff along the way. But yeah, again, these things aren't deal breakers to me, or even like major flaws. But it's something I've heard like when reading impressions from other people who played and their feelings on it, and my own as well. So take that for what you will. But yeah, this case is pretty good. The second case is interesting. I mean, it's also investigation, and it all takes place on a fucking boat. But also at Herlock, and he has a lot of good moments in that case, so he kind of carries it. And I did feel sympathy for Nicolina at the end of it. It was a tragic accident at the end of the day. So like. And I think, again, the fact that it was Kazuma who died, I think it did add some emotional weight to it that might not have been there otherwise. But it is all investigations in the span of like 3 different rooms for like a good few hours. So, I don't know. It's good. I enjoyed it. But it was mostly carried on like the good character writing and moments as opposed to like being super compelling to explore, This case is really good. Probably the best one in the game, I would say. Like, it's pretty short, and it takes place in court, but they really did a great job of pacing it. And this is one where the pacing, I think, was actually quite good. The only thing, heck, it's so good the way it's done, and the way, like, you could theoretically, depending on when you choose to investigate, will actually affect how you viewed the, what's the word? It would affect how you view the trial, because like I pointed it out before, but like if you waited to inspect the omnibus until they simply pointed it out, you would have seen the bloodstain, and then as far as you knew, it would have been there all along. So like it plays with your not only the characters' expectations and their trust in McGilded, but it also makes you like me, the player, wonder, because like again by the end of it, even though there was some sussus among us, stuff, we didn't know that McGilded had killed anyone. It left you wondering and not quite satisfied, but it got followed up on pretty well in this case, so that's good. And heck, it's so good that it even makes you forget that fucking like Bruce Fairplay and Lady First are like fucking nothing characters. That's when you got a good case. This case also, I would say, is pretty solid. Again, this is one of the pacing I think is a little, well, I don't know, pacing's the word. The structure of it is a bit strange because I feel like that for the first day of investigation is like mostly useless. Like if I recall, you don't really learn. You barely learn anything beyond like the basic idea of what happened. Most of what you learn happens in court, but you're still going around talking to fucking the Gyaradeads for a long time that first day and whatnot. But Soseki Natsume, he carries this case pretty well. When you have someone you care about and someone who's likable as a defendant, it makes you want to defend them. And like I said, he was a cool dude, and I also feel like he did a good job. Even if, again, the investigation aspect in terms of learning about the stuff that went down wasn't quite there. We got to actually explore London properly and see how different characters viewed the Japanese and all that stuff, and Suzuki's own experiences with the racisms and whatnot. I will say, I like John Gyaradev. I thought his design was very cool. I like Sun and Moon pairs and duos and such, though I couldn't quite get behind Joan, to be honest. Like, I don't know. The whole domestic abuse thing I found a little, not super funny. Or at least not as funny as they seem to have found it. And while I think it's interesting that, no one actually died in the case, and that it really was just a total accident, it also meant that, like, there wasn't, like, the stakes that you normally have, because, ultimately no one died. And also Joan isn't really she's not a criminal mastermind. Like, it just was an accident, and she tried to cover it up to an extent, but she didn't even seem to fully believe that she did it until, we proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. So, like, the typical things that you like in Ace Attorney games, especially the trials when you're going face to face with the culprit and they're guilty, but they come up with some argument, they fight back, and I feel like Joan does not quite match up as a culprit in that regard. And again, it's because they wrote it in such a way, but regardless, it's still a good case, even if it's not a great case in my opinion. Then this case that I just finished is quite good. I'll admit, as I was going through it, for most of it, I was like, I'm enjoying this. I think it's good. As a final case, it didn't quite feel weighty enough, for a while anyway. But the drama with the fucking music box secrets and the Telegram scandal and all that helped. And like I said, that final, the ending sequence where you, like, prove Gregson was, a lying piece of shit, like, that was great. And then making him confess so that Greydon, confesses, and learning the full story of what happened and how it related to this case and how it was connected. That was really good. Like, the finishing sequence really fucking, like, elevated it from being just, good to, like, pretty, very good. I would say maybe even great. Like, it's pretty enjoyable stuff. So yeah, I mean, realistically, I at least enjoyed or liked basically every case in the game. So again, also episode 5 also, while, like, I feel like I would have liked it even more if I was super invested in Gina, which I quite wasn't. I wasn't exactly. Like, I don't hate her, obviously, and I think, her mannerisms, you can understand to an extent, and by the end of it, when she actually does express her gratitude and appreciation for what you did, it actually does work. Like, I guess it's one of the things you have to fight for your happy ending, but, I found her stubbornness throughout, like, 80% of the case to be a little grating, And again, like I said before, if she didn't even tell us that she fucking pulled a gun on Windibank, apparently. Even though, as after we agreed to let us be her lawyer, yeah. If I'd really been on board with Gina, I probably would have been like, wow, this case is fucking amazing. but it's still good. In fact, I think it's probably great. Like I said, I liked the Skulkins. I liked Ashley Greydon. I thought he had very nice dance moves. Though I think could have helped with maybe one more like side character or just like another character, because you do talk like that the trial. And it's all one day, mind you. It's pretty meaty, and it's a lot of talking to like 3 people, well 4 if you count Gregson, for a while. So I feel like one extra character on top might have been for the better, but I don't know. Regardless, it's still good times to be had. Though again, the investigation phase, again, it's weird. One, like the fact that they don't seem to believe in fucking like more than 1 day trials. Like it's not something. I mean, it's not as if they haven't played with that format in other games, but it's just something like these trial days when it's just the 1 day, they go on pretty darn long. It's just if you compare it to the original trilogy, which had the 3-day trials mostly, and then the 2-day trials throughout the second and third games. Like, again, it's pacing, right? You know, like, but I don't know. These aren't like super serious critiques, and I don't mean to like make it seem like I'm just like shit talking, but these are just my observations and things that I felt and such. And I don't know, I felt the investigations, again, except for the second case, which was all investigations, it felt like they were not always super important. It feels like you get most of the evidence and you learn most of the important stuff in court, and then you just go with that information afterwards, which is like, I don't know, it's a choice. You know, it's like I can't quite say it's a flaw because I imagine they intended to do it the way they did, but still, it's been on my mind, and I wanted to have a chance to express it. But yeah, all that said, this was a great game. It set up nice. I think it sets up. I hope it sets up nicely for the second game, depending on how it follows up on the threads established in this game. And I'm definitely excited to go to the second game because, from the impressions I've heard from others is that the second game is actually better than the first game, but I don't know the details of that, obviously, because I'm trying to avoid spoilers and such. But yeah, I don't think this will be my favorite. So far, this one is not my all-time favorite Ace Attorney game. I still think Trials and Tribulations is pretty hard to top. You know, I feel like it's as good as an execution of the Ace Attorney formula as you can really get. But who knows? Maybe the second game will really tip the scales. I don't know. Another thing I will say, it's not exactly a critique, or because again, I'm sure it was done intentionally. If you go back to the first Phoenix Wright game, right? It obviously set up, it works as a standalone experience and also the first game in a trilogy. Because, when they made the first game, they didn't necessarily know there was going to be a sequel. So it works as a standalone story, if you were to think about it. And again, another thing I've heard from people is that this game, the first game, it just doesn't quite have that strength as a standalone experience because it's like the first part of a 2-part thing, the way I've heard people say it, at least on Reddit and stuff, is that these 2 games combined are one extra large Ace Attorney game, so you're not really meant to evaluate it as a standalone experience. But other people have said that that fact kind of bugs them, and I get it. People, if you're used to a certain way of the games working, this slight the shakeup, I would say, of the formula is going to probably you're going to love it or you're not necessarily going to love it. Even the post-trilogy games like Spirit of Justice and Dual Destinies and such, they're primarily enjoyable as standalone experiences, not necessarily a part of a greater story. But that's another discussion for another day. If I had to put it again, my overall feelings have not 100% solidified, and I'm sure at some point I'll probably go back and play these on my own time, and those will help really shape exactly how I feel. But I feel comfortable saying that this game so far, the Great Ace Attorney 1 Adventures, is upper mid in terms of the greater Ace Attorney experience. I'd probably say it's better than Apollo Justice, even though I do like that game in spite of its flaws, it's better than Dual Destinies. It's probably better than the two Edgeworth games, though again I do like those, mind you. It's better than Justice for All, but like I said, it's not quite at the level of Trials and Tribulation, and I don't know. I think it's in the ballpark with the first Phoenix Wright game, the first game, and then also Spirit of Justice, which I still really like. It's definitely in that ballpark. Like if I don't know exactly if I say it's better or worse than those, but it's in that same general milieu, I would say. So yeah, on the whole, it was definitely a satisfying experience for me. These games have been. I like Ace Attorney, right? Okay, even the games that I don't, even the lower ranked games that, in my own personal opinion, are games that I still very much enjoy. Like, I just like the formula, I like the characters, I like the writing. It's good shit, pal. So when you throw a new Ace Attorney my way, I'm gonna buy it, and the wait was definitely worth it in this case. Now then, those rambling, probably not very interesting thoughts aside. That we've done the first game now. I don't know. I'm kind of just fucking, I don't know. The second game I would like to get to soon. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just a selfish part of me. Just it wants to play the second game, and normally I sort of more professional Let's Player would have this stuff like planned out by the day and stuff. But I'm kind of just going. But the seat of my pants, right? But before going into the second game, there is special content, and here, you can see your accolades. You can check out the concept art and the other like special details. You have a full-on music player, which is neat. And like this stuff, I do really like. It's like having like an art book and like music player along with your game without having to pay extra for it. But beyond that, there's these escapades, which to my understanding, they're like short DLC. Well, they were initially DLC made for the first game, and they're basically like short slice of life escapades. Hence the title, featuring like the main cast. And with a couple of witnesses and stuff, just throughout different points of the first game. And seeing as these, as far as I understand, take place between, their canonicity is probably up for debate, but the might still be interesting to explore, right? And and since they take place between different parts of the first game, I figured a good way to get into it or a good way to bridge the gap between the first game and the second game, it might be to check these out. I don't know how long they are, or how in depth they are, or if there's just gonna be a lot of like. Again, I got the impression that it was more lighter slice of life stuff, but I think we'll try these out next time. Just start from the first one, I guess. And I think it feels like it'll be a good way to bridge the gap before going into the second game proper. There's lots of sick DLC costumes that came with the game. If you want to see fucking Herlock in a fuck, I don't know the term for that. Hakama? Is that the word? I'm not an expert on Japanese clothing. Or you want to see Ryunosuke wearing blue like his descendant. Yeah, it's neat stuff. So yeah, that is the first Ace Attorney game, great Ace Attorney game, completed, for better or worse, I suppose. Thank you for if you watched along my annoying voice and general less than stellar playing style. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed yourself at least, and it's been fun. I can definitely say. But next time, I don't know if I'll make like a separate tab or make it like a side series, the escapades or not. But either way, next time when we record, we'll start looking through the escapades and see where that leads us. But yes, until then, I will see you around, And again, thank you for being with me on this journey through a great... Dude, think about it. It's literally... Okay, you know the game's called The Great Ace Attorney, right? But it's true in more ways than one if you think about it, because it is also... It's not just the Great Ace Attorney game, it is a Great Ace Attorney game. Because it's great, you know? It's like a solid 8, 8.5, give or take. Good shit, pal. Good shit indeed. Anyway, look at me. Again, getting off track, rambling. I probably should end this episode a long time ago, but I don't know. I like to hear myself talk, what can I say? Next time, though, I will see you around in the escapades. See you then.